What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are back with some more draft lottery rebuilds. Of course, we are at pick number, what is it, 8 now with the Pelicans. So the New Orleans Pelicans have the 8th overall pick, and today I think they're going to go ahead and take AJ Griffin there, and that's why today we're going to be doing an AJ Griffin New Orleans Pelicans rebuild. Before we get into today's video though, guys, if you could drop a like real quick, and of course subscribe if you are new around here, that'd be greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel a ton, and your guys' support has been overwhelmingly awesome, so thank you guys for that. Love for you to keep it up. But talking about the Pelicans for a second, so obviously, like I said, they do have the 8th overall pick, and they just had a really good run. Let's be honest, man. They pushed the Suns to 6 games. They made the playoffs after the CJ McCollum trade, and I will forever say, as a Blazers fan, the Pelicans finessed the hell out of the Blazers at the trade deadline in the CJ McCollum trade. So shout out to the Pelicans for that. And again, they obviously could make some more trades this offseason. They could potentially even trade this pick, but I feel like it would have been between Jalen Duran here or, of course, AJ Griffin, since I did take Benedict Mathurin for the Blazers. So I would have just rather have taken AJ Griffin, because I feel like getting Jalen Duran, it was going to be kind of weird with Jackson Hayes and Jonas Valanciunas already here, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. But hey, if you thought, the Pelicans should take Jalen Duran, let me know down in the comments, and I can understand that. But today I'm just taking AJ Griffin. I forgot to post a poll yesterday. I was going to post a poll for this Pelicans one, but I totally forgot. I assume AJ Griffin would have won it, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into the draft after I fix Zion's health, obviously. And we could jump into this draft and draft AJ Griffin. I'm assuming he's going to go top 4, because lately 2K has just drafted him in like the top 3 for whatever reason. Orlando takes Paulo Banchero. The Thunder take Chet Holmgren. So far, that's good. About Jabari here. There we go. Okay, Kings. Let's see what they... Jaden Ivey? No, Shaden Sharp. Okay. Pistons take Jaden Ivey then, right? And no, they get Ty Washington. Okay. Pacers go AJ Griffin, which is exactly who we wanted, obviously. And you have Jaden Ivey going to the Blazers, and here we're at pick number 8. So obviously, I think the Pacers would have actually taken Keegan Murray. So I'm going to take Keegan Murray here. I'll fix that after the draft. I'll give myself AJ Griffin, the Pacers, Keegan Murray. So in the second round, we got Christian Koloko, Barjon Beauchamp. You got Andrew Nimbar, Jabari Walker. I mean, honestly, I'm not really, I'm not a crazy nerd about second round picks, so I don't know who's good or whatever, but I know a few names. That's about it. And I know that I've heard of Marjon. Isn't he out of G League Ignite, or am I tripping? That might be somebody else I'm thinking of. I'll take him, I guess. Welcome to the Pelicans. And then with my other round 2 pick, we'll just take like Kofi here, I guess. And I'm going to fix that Keegan Murray for AJ Griffin swap real quick. We'll have that fixed up, and then obviously we'll continue on with the video. So now that we have AJ Griffin here on the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm not sure where he's going to fit exactly. I don't know if they would immediately start him. I mean, they do have a decent starting 5 with like what they were starting last year. So it was like, and of course, you're going to have Zion Williamson coming back as well on top of that. So now you have CJ McCollum at point guard. You have Herbert Jones at the shooting guard, and Marjon as well. You have Brandon Ingram and AJ Griffin. So AJ Griffin, low-key, might be a bench player this year. And then, of course, Zion's going to start at the 4, and you have Jackson Hayes at the 5. But then maybe in some lineups, you could have like Zion playing the 5, and then have like AJ Griffin out there with Herbert Jones and Ingram, and then McCollum at the point. That'd be kind of cool. And then Kyra Lewis Jr., another guy that didn't get a ton of minutes. And of course, Jose Alvarado stepped up last year. So there's definitely some depth here in New Orleans that I could see them making a trade, which honestly, I feel like we should maybe make a trade. I kind of like the idea of making a trade. Obviously, Herbert Jones is off the table, but guys like Kyra Lewis, who could maybe be somebody, because they do have some depth there. Or even Devontae Graham, for crying out loud. I mean, he barely played in the playoffs, and obviously he didn't work out as much as they wanted him to. You have Najee Marshall, Tony Snell, Trey Murphy, which you're going to accept. With Trey Murphy actually still on a rookie contract, never mind. And then you have Zion and Jackson Hayes and Larry Nance. I think I'm going to move Jackson Hayes to the backup center, just because I know he was playing like 4 for the Pelicans, but we have Larry Nance here, which he was really good in the playoffs as well, which Portland gave to the Pelicans for free pretty much. So yeah, Pelicans had a great trade deadline, obviously, but player options, we have none, and then qualifying offers, we have nobody. So we're pretty much have everybody under contract as it is right now. So looking at it, we have no bird rights to worry about. I don't think we have money, obviously. So yeah, we don't have money. We could sign someone to free agency, but I mean, I really like this Pelicans roster as it is, but of course this is a rebuild, so I want to do something. So I think I am going to try to make a trade. Now, what trade is that going to be exactly? I'm not sure. I like Joe Val. I like Jackson Hayes. I like Zion and Larry Nance. I like Ingram and AJ Griffin. So I guess the only position that I'm really looking to maybe upgrade here, which I do like Herbert Jones. So honestly, Wouldn't mind starting Herbert Jones, but maybe we look for another guard here, and I don't know who that would be, but I definitely want to try to make a trade here just because I think it'd be cool to have like another player and maybe just do something with this team. I already like their team as it is, but we got like another good guard here. Like Donovan Mitchell is available. If the Pelicans pull that off, I mean, they have the assets to do it. That would be fun if we could pull that off. DeJounte Murray is probably going to be available. You know, there's obviously like Fred VanVleet who could become available. But maybe we just don't do anything, man. Like, I feel like I should do something, but at the same time, this roster is already so damn good. It's just kind of like I'm just forcing myself to do something right now. So maybe just get like a bench player, I guess. Maybe just go for a bench player and do something. So Marjan. Okay, so maybe this is what we're going to do. We're going to look for a good backup shooting guard. How about that? Herbert Jones will still start, but maybe a good backup shooting guard, I guess, is the only thing I'm looking for, which Marjan could technically do that, though. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign nobody. You know what? I like this roster. I said I was going to do something, but this roster is already so damn good. CJ going down, Joe Val going down. Maybe we have to make some moves next offseason. How about that? Because I kind of like this roster as it is. Larry Nance is going to be gone probably. Maybe at the trade deadline, we make a trade of like Larry Nance and Devontae Graham's contracts combined or something. Maybe we do something like that. That would be kind of cool, but let's go take a look at the starting five. Let's go take a look at what this would look like going into the next season after drafting AJ Griffin. So starting five would look something like this. So it would be CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Joe Val, Jackson Hayes, AJ Griffin off the bench, Jose Alvarado, and Devontae Graham, and then William Hernangomez. So yeah, guys like what do we got? Like Kyra Lewis is in the rotation, Trey Murphy, but they have Will Hernangomez. But I'm gonna move this to a 9-man rotation just this year. Devontae Graham and Jose Alvarado are the last few getting minutes. So yeah, I think at the trade deadline, we should definitely try to trade Devontae Graham and like Larry Nance together or something. So we could be a 4-star at balance. So I'm going to move Willie Green to a 4-star system, which Willie Green ended up being a really good head coach for the Pelicans as well. So yeah, I mean, we are in good position. Obviously, as we know, the Pelicans are already good in 2K as it is. So I'm going to do something to the trade deadline though, for sure, just to put myself over the top a little bit. But let's simulate and let's see where we're at the trade deadline. Hopefully we're really good, but again, I'll make myself even better at the trade deadline, or the Pelicans even better, I should say. There's a few teams that are kind of selling here that I find pretty interesting, like the Phoenix Suns, for instance. Imagine we could pull off a trade to get Devin Booker here in New Orleans. That would be kind of cool, but almost seems like, you know, crazy out of the realm of possibility. I kind of entertain the idea of trading for Bradley Beal from the Wizards. Having a Bradley Beal CJ backcourt would be interesting, but I don't really have the money to match his salary. He's making $37 million. I should have tried that in the offseason if I was going to try something like that. But the guy I kind of like the idea of, which I actually like two ideas. I like the idea of Gary Trent Jr. on the Raptors, and I also love the idea of DeJounte Murray on the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, we could match the salary of either of those guys. They could be really nice acquisitions to the squad. So obviously DeJounte Murray is like the bigger guy to go for. They suck, but they did sign Zach LaVine, so it would be kind of weird if they just signed Zach LaVine and then just traded DeJounte Murray away, obviously. So maybe instead we go to the Raptors and we go get Gary Trent Jr., who will probably be a little bit more affordable for us anyway. So Gary Trent Jr., and we offer them, obviously, Devontae Graham, which he hasn't even worked out for us at all. And then we offer them, let's say, Kyra Lewis Jr., who's making $4 million. So Gary Trent, Devontae Graham, Kyra Lewis for Gary Trent Jr. They don't accept that, which makes sense. I will throw in a future Bucks pick, and they agree. So we get Gary Trent Jr. at the trade deadline, which I think is a solid acquisitions to the rotation. So Gary Trent Jr. starts here in New Orleans next to his former teammate CJ McCollum. And look, man, the starting five is on fire. AJ Griffin's getting 31 minutes a night. So I know this is a Pelicans AJ Griffin rebuild, and he's not even in the starting five. But man, the Pelicans are freaking stacked, bro. I mean, it's kind of tough. I guess I could have technically started like AJ Griffin at the 2 if I wanted to and made it that way. But I don't know, man. Like I said, the Pelicans are just kind of stacked. So I really love their roster. They're going to be definitely scary, especially if they decide to make like a crazy trade or something. But regardless, we're going to keep simulating. Right now, we're the 2nd seed in the Western Conference with Gary Trent Jr. coming over. Hopefully that makes us that much better. We already know the Pelicans are overpowered as it is, so probably we're going to win a championship this year, but we'll see what happens. So at the end of the season, Luka Doncic wins MVP. Jabari wins Rookie of the Year on the Rockets. And you got EJ Liddell winning 6th man on the Sixers. Gobert's defensive player. Robert Williams most improved. And Nate McMillan is your coach of the year. And Christopher Bell is your executive. So while the Pelicans do have a bright future and things look great right now, the one thing that could go wrong for them, obviously, I think we all know this, is if Zion's health doesn't hold up. He obviously pushes them over the top as far as ceiling is concerned, but if for some reason his health does not hold up and he just never gets back on the court full time at all, it's just not going to be good. I mean, obviously they do have a talented roster outside of him, but not having Zion, would suck so badly. Zion would push them over the top. So we are the first seed in the West here in 2K. Obviously, like I said, Zion is good, but he averaged 24. Brandon Ingram with 23. CJ had 18, and then 5 assists on top of that. Gary Trent Jr. came over, 15 points. AJ Griffin had 12.5 off the bench, so you love that. Then Joe Val, 12, and then Jackson Hayes with 9, and then Jose Alvarado with 6. And low-key, I might do something weird. Is Zion really only 6'6"? Is he really only that tall? I feel like Zion was taller than that, but maybe not. I mean, he's big, though, so, I mean, it's not really going to matter. I might do something weird in this next season, though, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I'll let you know if I end up doing it. But let's go ahead and see if we're going to win a championship first. So the Phoenix Suns, who we obviously played this last year, but this time the seeds are reversed. So we get the first seed while the Suns have the 8th seed. They took care of business as the first seed, so I expect us to do the same exact thing. So when we current round against Phoenix, and in fact, we took care of them in 4 games. Don't have to take them to 6. Now we're going up against the Kings, who are here with Shaden Sharp and De'Aaron Fox, which I think is cool. Honestly, I can see the Kings taking Shaden Sharp. Why not, right? Like, just take whoever you think is going to be really good. And unless they trade down or trade out of the draft, I'm not sure. So we current round against Sacramento, and we beat them in 5. And now we get the Memphis Grizzlies, which the Grizzlies are no slouch either. They have a really good roster, so we'll see what happens. So when it current round, and we are going to be down 3-2, and we lose in 6. So we do not win a championship like I thought we were going to. But the Cavaliers go on to win it all and beat the Grizzlies. But I guess that's kind of a good thing, so we can keep going, right? I mean, I don't know if I was going to end it off if we won a championship anyway, but obviously winning a championship kind of hinders our goal. But hey, we have the 2nd overall pick via the Los Angeles Lakers. Are you kidding me right now? Bro, come on. Give me that 2nd over. Imagine I win the number 1 overall pick here, actually. Imagine I win the number 1 overall. I don't know what the Lakers protections are right now. I'm assuming this pick is unprotected. I'm going to watch a lottery, because if we get the number 1 overall pick for some reason and we win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes, come on now, man. Are you kidding me? Oh, we're going to watch this. Warriors number 11. I wasn't even paying attention if there was any surprises yet. And the Warriors won the 11th pick. Okay. So no surprises thus far, I don't think. If I'm not mistaken, I wasn't paying attention fully. The Magic have won the 10th pick. Okay. Via Chicago. So the Bulls. And then the Mavericks are in the lottery, which is interesting, because I feel like the Mavericks with Luka Doncic winning MVP, him being in the lottery doesn't make sense. Unless they were like in the play-in tournament, I guess. But Chicago, which that gets going... Or that goes to the Knicks. Oh, the Bulls and Thunder have jumped to the top 4. Okay, so that's not a good look for us, I guess. Magic, number 7. Okay, Orlando has number 7. Honestly, if we just have a top 5 pick, though, we're going to be in good shape regardless. Clippers won the 6th pick, so I think that pushed us out of... or maybe not. Never mind. Pelicans, so we're projected number 5. And we, in fact, get number 5. So is this via the Lakers? And it is. So we get the 5th pick. Okay. 5th overall pick in this draft. Again, would have loved to have number 1. Imagine I had number 1, but that's fine. The Wizards probably need it more than I do. So we have the 5th overall pick. And low key, I don't think I'm going to draft here. I think I'm going to get creative. I think I'm going to make a trade, man. Like, why wouldn't we make a trade at this point? We have so many options. We have so many draft picks. We're looking to win a championship. We were in the Western Conference Finals. We have this 5th overall pick. Now, who am I going to trade and what am I going to do? No clue just yet, but we're going to figure it out for sure. So I want to make a trade with this 5th overall pick for sure. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to, low-key. So 5th overall pick. If I traded it right, and let me just throw it in the trade finder. Kobe White, Lauri Markkanen, Gene Montero, Miles Bridges. I get Miles Bridges basically for free. That's kind of crazy. I guess the 5th pick isn't free. But OG Anunoby, Jordan Poole from the Warriors. Sure, I would love that. But at the same time, I kind of want to put AJ Griffin in the starting 5 this year, so maybe we don't make a trade. I've been so indecisive in this video. I'm sorry, but I'm just trying my best to make this as best as possible. So, Scooter Henderson, Derek Lively. I mean, I guess if we're going to let Jackson Hayes walk, we could take a backup center. So, sure, why not? I guess we could do that and then let, like, Joe Val walk or whatever. Derek Lively could be the starting center, I guess, or whatever we would decide to do. Player options, Gary Trent Jr. declines. I'm going to accept Marjan, and then qualifying offers, Hayes and Zion are both free agents. Probably will end up letting Jackson Hayes walk, I think, just because we just drafted a new center. And then Joe Val, obviously, is somebody I kind of want back, but at the same time, I kind of want to do something interesting for this last season to see if it would work. It would be definitely weird to do. Miles Turner, obviously, as we know, would be a good fit in New Orleans. So he's a free agent here. But Joe Val obviously was playing here. I'm going to sign Miles Turner, I think, for the Pelicans. If he comes here, why on earth would... Oh, never mind. I guess I can't. So never mind. Let's not do that. Let's not sign Miles Turner. I thought I could sign him outright, but that's not the case at all. I'm going to sign Joe Val. Can I sign Joe Val? Zion's getting an offer. Of course, we're going to do that. Jackson Hayes, I'm okay with renouncing. Gary Trent, I'm not renouncing, though. So Gary Trent Jr. is somebody I still want back on this squad because I made a trade for him. So I think we should get all of them back. And we do have all of them back. But the one thing I was going to do is going to like slide Zion to center and then start AJ Griffin in the starting 5. Just that way he gets like a starting spot. But I'm not going to... Zion, I mean, technically could play the center. He doesn't go down in overall. I mean, I know I don't think it'd happen in real life, but... maybe we could do something like that. So let's go straight to player progression. And we got Brent Ingram going down, CJ going down, Zion going up. Everyone's going down. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start Zion Williamson at center this year. Why not? For fun. I mean, we're going to start AJ Griffin. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have AJ Griffin still the 6th man, but I want to see him start. Since he's the title of the video, I'm going to slide Zion to center. I'll move his backup position to power forward. So obviously, that puts AJ Griffin in the starting 5, which is kind of what I wanted. I don't know if I should move AJ Griffin to power forward, though. Would he go up if I did? He doesn't go down, so I guess that's what we're going to do. So it'll be CJ, Gary Trent, Ingram, AJ Griffin, and Zion playing center. And then Derek Lively, Joe Val, Herbert Jones, and Marjon. So that is going to be the rotation, which is an interesting one, but just so AJ Griffin gets some run in the starting 5, we're going to do this. And we're going to see how it goes. I'm just doing this for fun at this point. I mean, the Pelicans are going to be good as it is. So just kind of having AJ Griffin be in the starting 5. I kind of wanted to do that. I'm going to move AJ Griffin to center and I'm Ingram play power forward because he's a little bit taller than AJ Griffin. So maybe we do that instead. I mean, it really doesn't matter all that much. And then I want to move Zion's position to backup center or backup power forward as well to that way. His secondary position to power forward, I should say. So I'm going to move his secondary position to power forward. Zion's going to start the small ball 5 all year. So this is going to be interesting, but Joe Val, Lively, then Herbert Jones. I'm going to move Lively to power forward as well to be a backup 4. And then our rotation is going to look just a little bit better. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to start Jose Alvarado, or I'm going to put Jose Alvarado in the rotation over Marjon, though. And that will be the rotation. Okay. Interesting rotation where our system went down, obviously with Zion sliding to center, but I'm still confident this team is still going to perform. So let's just see what happens this year with Zion starting at center. Win game 1, win game 2. You know, I wonder if this would nerf the Pelicans. You guys know how good the Pelicans are, and maybe this would. Maybe putting Zion at center is not the vibes at all, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we finish good. As you guys know, the Pelicans are overpowered, so maybe this nerfs them a little bit. We'll see. So at the end of the season, Nikola Jokic wins MVP. Victor Wembanyama wins Rookie of the Year. Malachi Branham's your 6th man. Jaren Jackson Defensive Player. And he also wins Most Improved. So 6th man and Most Improved for Malachi. Shout out to him. And then here's your All-NBA first team. I wonder if Zion got on All-NBA team as a center. I'm actually curious about that. And no, he didn't. So moving him to center kind of obviously was weird, but I thought it was fun to do regardless instead of just watching the Pelicans dominate the whole time. So Zion only averaged 20 at center, 17 from Ingram, 17 from McCollum, then 15. And then you had 13 and 12. Obviously, a lot of contributing factors here. I guess if we start to suck in the playoffs, I'll just move Zion back and then have Joe Val start or whatever. But we are playing the Warriors, so this will be interesting. Game 1, we're up 1-0, 121 and 107. Ingram drops 25. Game 2, they even it up after winning by 3. We're up 2-1. We're up 3-1, and we beat them in 5. Okay, we beat the Warriors in 5, which is a good sign. Now I get to play the Timberwolves, though. Karl-Anthony Towns would probably have his way with Zion down low. Maybe not. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if it would work out that way or not. But let's see. So game 1, we're down 1-0. We'll lose by 7. We even it up, though. We win game 3. Okay. Win game 4? No. Can we win game 5? No. Okay. Simcasting game 5 here. This is going to be a important game 6 win here. So hopefully we can win game 6 and we can go on. And this is going to be a weird, different look if we can't win a championship with the Pelicans today, low key. So we got to come back at the end, and we do not. 122 to 110. Okay. That experiment did not work at all. It did not work at all. So you know what? We're going to go another season. I'm going to move everything back the way it's supposed to be. So let's move everybody back to where they're supposed to be. So power forward for Zion. We'll move AJ Griffin or Ingram back to small forward. And then AJ Griffin will still be the power or small forward. So that did not work out the way I wanted it to. I thought it was worth a fun look to see what happened. And we got the second overall pick. Oh my goodness. We are just kind of spoiled with all these Lakers picks, low-key. And there's just way too many assets. I don't even know what to do with them. So I don't even know if I loaded a draft class. So let me just make sure I do that. And then we had the second overall pick. So do we just like draft Bronny James or what? Who's the best player in this draft? Bronny James, I guess. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and draft Bronny James. We do need our head coach back, which would be Willie Green if I can find him. And then again, we'll run it back with everything normal. Kind of wanted to run that experiment to see what would happen. There he is, Willie Green. We'll bring him back, of course, to the Pelicans. And then we'll go ahead and sign a couple guys here. Shot Doctor we'll sign, and then we'll go ahead and draft. So Murmaz is fine. And then big man coach, we got Higgins here. So welcome to New Orleans. All right, one other thing I want to do is I want to move Derek Lively to center. So I'm sure if I had everything normal, we probably would have won a championship last year, but I wanted to try that experiment out. We also did the second overall pick here, so we'll draft. I just draft Bronny James. Maybe LeBron James will join us here in New Orleans as well on top of that. So just like that, we come out of the draft with Bull, Javon. Yeah, I mean, just so many assets. Like I said, I don't even know what to do with them. So qualifying offers, Herbert Jones and Marjan are both free agents. And then McCollum's a free agent as well, which I'm going to sign McCollum back. I want Herbert Jones back, obviously. So give me Herbert Jones, and I'll give him a deal. So we'll sign Herbert Jones. And then they want to renounce Marjan, which, I mean, cool, I guess. But, I mean, I'd rather just keep him around. I guess if he doesn't come back, no big deal. But looking at the starting five for now, it's Bronny James, McCollum. You got Gary Trent, Herbert Jones, Ingram, AJ Griffin, and they got Zion, and then Derek Lively, Jackson Hayes anymore. Player progression. Let's go take a look at it. We'll run it back for a third season with everything normal and rotations the same, obviously. Ingram goes up. McCollum goes down to an 80 overall. So CJ keeps going down in overall, which is a little disappointing. But we'll run it back one more time, and hopefully this year we do win this championship. So we ran it back again, and this year we went 61 and 21, obviously. So things are back to normal. Rotations back to normal. So if we look at the player stats real quick for this season, we had 24 from Zion, 18 from Brandon Ingram, 15 from Gary Trent Jr., 14 from AJ Griffin. So AJ Griffin's actually developed really well. McCollum with 13. Bronny James had 11 as well. So he'll probably be taking over from McCollum soon here. And Derek Lively with 9. Joe Val with 9. But obviously, we're looking to just win a championship here. We get the Phoenix Suns again. And they no longer have Devin Booker or Chris Paul. So I fully expect to beat this team. And I'm just absolutely done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.